Pomponio. Well, how are you handling your first summer in the desert?
Oh, it's so hot. And just the other day, I touched the door handle and that was a little hot, but that's okay. I was able to manage through that. Touched the steering wheel, that was a little hot. But what really got me is when I pressed the window buttons that had a little piece of metal on them. I was like, that's so hot.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been here since 1995, and I have still not learned my lesson. I keep buying black cars, okay? And let me tell you how bad a black car. Now, here's my dilemma. I got 2 red cars in the garage, and I got the 2 black ones in the driveway.
Just baking in the sun.
Oh, man. Just go touch it. Even just coming here, I had to move 1 car, and I swear I was in there sweating. But anyway, yes, it gets hot.
It's quite an experience that I had never had, and it's consecutive. Every day is hot. It's not like there's a couple hot days and then some cool days or a cool off day.
No.
It's consistent and always very surprising. So, I mean, we're very lucky to have advancements like AC.
Yep. If you live on a long enough street, on any given day, you'll see an air conditioning truck stop in front of somebody's house. Okay? That's the life we live on. Anyway.
Well, I can't even imagine what it must be like if your AC goes out in the middle of the summer. Like, how do people handle that?
You know what? We go to the casino. So what happens is we had an outage on my street. One of the transformers blew, and I told Franny, pack it up, let's get out of here. We're going to be down for 12 hours. We went over to Agua Caliente Casino and spent the night there until we knew that the power was up and running again. So
yeah, that's quite a difference. Well, all right. Later on in this episode, I'm excited to take you just shy of the Californian border to Vegas, where I had a rare chance to speak with notorious mobster Frankie Citro, who landed on Nevada's Black Book. I also had a chance to catch up with Steve McCoy, who's the world's greatest Tom Jones impersonator.
A notorious mobster, huh?
Yeah. So, Tony, we've covered a lot on California Limelight so far. We played hockey, golf, baseball, the Dallas TV reunion. What was your favorite?
Well, you know, I've been a baseball guy, and I love the fact that I was able to get in the batter's box the first time in actually 50 years. This would be my anniversary year, my 50th reunion from high school. But honestly, what I had the most fun was the hockey.
What? Really? The hockey?
Are you kidding me? Putting on that uniform, walking down over there, lumbering, trying to get then I thought maybe I was going to have skates, but obviously I didn't, okay? They put spikes on me because probably insurance purposes. And everyone was freezing except for me. I'm on the ice sweating. It was so hot. Had all that gear on. I'm going, geez, this is... And then you start shooting pucks at me. Anyway, it was hilarious. But I'll tell you the funniest part about it was when I had to take the gear off. Now I'm all sweaty, and I have one of our helpers trying to pull the stuff off me. I'm over there like this, over there pull a little harder. Anyway, it was crazy.
Well, I'm glad that didn't make it onto the show then. But I'm glad that you really liked hockey because it's a sport that's near and dear to my heart.
It's close to your
heart.
I get it.
Yeah.
So what's next for us?
Well, I've never been here in the desert during the summer, and it is fascinating to me that wherever you are in the world, summertime could mean something different. Like for me, back home, it was about enjoying the great outdoors, camping, having gatherings, and of course the legendary backyard barbecues. With the desert being so extra hot in the summer, it doesn't seem like a lot of people in the valley would spend a lot of time outdoors. What do people do during the summer?
Okay, so first thing to do is pack it up and leave.
That explains why it's so quiet here.
A large majority. That's why you can drive down Highway 111 or Fred Waring right now, or everywhere, and you go, where's the cars? But believe me, it used to be a lot more barren years ago. Much more of the population has stayed behind. And I'll tell you what's happened is with all the homes that they've built and so much more vegetation, there's a lot of pools. People will have pool parties. You know, many homes are one story out here. I don't know if you've noticed that.
I have.
You know, people like a spread. They like if you're going to be indoors, you need room. So not everybody can have that luxury, but a lot of people do. And pools are absolutely a must. Everybody has pools. You can do your barbecue and misters. You need misters, okay? Misters work, umbrellas, mistered, outdoor televisions. It's kind of a beautiful thing. And you know what? You gotta wear less clothes, like we are today, okay?
That's true.
I mean, that's what it boils down to. But we do have barbecue parties here all year round, too. Trust me, I love a good steak on the grill.
Do you cook it yourself?
Yeah, of course. Who else would cook it? Do you know how to cook a steak?
Yeah, of course. You know, probably better than you.
Oh, really now? You think you can cook a steak better than me? Is that another one of your challenges?
Yeah, I mean, I don't need reading glasses to read the knobs or anything.
All right, that's it, kid. You're on. Let me see. Who can make a better steak?
Leland,
Hey, Will, what's up?
I need your help.
Sure, what do you need?
You know my co-host, Tony, right?
Sure, of course.
Yeah, well, we did these like challenges and things, and then we were talking about steak, and then one thing led to another, and then he challenged me to a steak cook-off competition.
Hey, that sounds delicious.
Well, the problem is that I don't know how to barbecue or cook a steak. The last time I cooked a steak, the fire department worked overtime.
Well, listen, I know a thing or two about barbecue competitions. In fact, let's make this bigger.
How so?
Well, I can make a phone call to a local competitor, Desert Fireplace, and her name is Janet. She runs the store, and her and Tony could go against you and me in a competition. What do you think?
That sounds amazing. All right.
Let's do
Hey,
it.
Let's do it.
I'll make a phone call right now.
Challenge accepted. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
I wonder what's taking them so long.
Maybe they decided not to come.
Great, then we'd win.
Oh, that'd be great.
Really, Tony?
Really, Janet? Is that how DFB wants to play it?
Okay, look it. I'm gonna share a little secret with you, okay? Janet, I am not the grill father. I'm the pasta father, okay?
All right, so let's put this bad boy on. So the way that I grill and the way that a lot of people grill is they put either like something on top. So I've seasoned the meat and I put olive oil on top.
Oh, that's
So
really
olive
good.
oil is a great way to get the steak tasting better. A lot of restaurants do it. And with a nice cut like this, you always want to have, you want to be the human flipper. So every 3 or 4 minutes, you want to be able to flip the steak, and after a while, you'll touch it and make sure it's semi-firm. That's a nice medium rare, and that's the way that I like to do it.
Wow, that's an interesting tip. I never would have thought.
Yeah. Olive oil is great. You know, a lot of people do different things, and then we're going to season it with Montreal, but you never want to put the seasoning on at first, because seasoning gets rancid at high heat. So you want to put seasoning on at the end.
From what I hear, we're gonna flip it for another 2 minutes, okay?
What about this barbecue?
So
here?
this is a
Pretty
Blaze-
fancy. Look at all these knobs here.
It is. This is actually a Blaze Pro. This is their professional line by Blaze. They have a regular line too, but this is the Blaze Pro.
Wow.
It gets very hot. It's a commercial quality grill. Has warming rack, lights on the knobs. It's really, really nice.
Yeah,
Double
and I
wall
see all
hood.
these, like, these different racks up here and all that, so you can barbecue all summer long, then, right?
You can. It's great for the desert. We are a barbecue community.
Let's watch the steak very closely. It's cooking. I can hear the sizzle.
So this is going to take a little while, maybe about 3 or 4 minutes on one side. Then after this seasons, I will flip it over.
Okay.
And then that's how you basically do a really nice cut of steak. And you never want to close the hood for more than a couple minutes, because when you do, it creates an oven and that dries out the food.
Okay, listen, 2 minutes are up. Let's flip this thing. Right? Ready? Let's do it. All right, hold on 1 second.
Let's see if I can just turn this right now.
Wow.
So, yeah, but the Blaze grills, they cook really nicely, really well, super even. They have the optional rotisserie system.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool. So what else aside from like rotisserie chicken can you add to
You can
that
do
recipe?
rotisserie pork, you do turkeys, chickens. What you do is you take out the warming rack,
Okay.
you take out these cooking grids, and now you have that big
then it
space.
feels- Oh, that's cool.
And then you put your forks on, you turn your rotisserie motor on, and this thing uses the rear infrared burner.
Oh, I
And that's
see.
what cooks. You don't use the main burners, you use the rear infrared.
And so if it's a really hot day, you can just put on some rotisserie, go inside, enjoy the AC,
Absolutely.
and then come back out.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's
You don't have
cool.
to be the human flipper. You could let the machine do all of the work.
From what I understand, we got some kids here that are gonna be the judges, right? But little do they know, I brought Disneyland tickets
In fact, they make a basket for the rotisseries. So if you want to do peppers, you want to do chicken, strips,
Wow.
well, anything you want, fish, shrimp, you put it in the basket, put it on the rotisserie, and then go inside while it's hot outside and let the grill do the work.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
So now we're gonna flip it. So both sides have been basically seared. Searing basically is cauterizing the flesh, the meat, and it holds in the juice. And now that we've seared it, now we can put a little bit of seasoning on.
Okay.
You know what I noticed about this grill? There's storage, there's drawers, all kinds of stuff here. This is really a premium grill, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And actually, yeah, you can store all of your rotisserie stuff,
Nice.
your basket and stuff in there.
All stainless steel, easy to keep clean.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Don't be shy.
Is that good?
That's great. Excellent, actually. Okay, so
I'm quite the chef, aren't I?
yeah. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just move this over here a little bit. It's getting very set up. This actually is coming out really nicely.
Good.
And
good.
again, it's just olive oil and the Montreal. That's all it has, but it'll taste really good.
Wow, that's simple.
It is.
And you could put other things up here like baked potatoes maybe, and maybe bread and things like that
Yeah.
while you're cooking, huh? Good, good.
Well, I think it's done.
Awesome. All right.
There you
Ready
go.
for
Look
the
at that
judges
bad
to
boy.
taste it.
Nice.
And for us to win.
Yes, absolutely.
There we go. Aha, there it is.
Nice.
The winning steak. How about that?
Judges, here's some steak for you to take a little taste test. Here's some steak for you, sir.
Hey, Dad, this would probably taste better with some ketchup.
Dad, don't tell anyone you're my son. Okay, let us know what you think.
I can't eat it. I'm vegetarian. Can I take this to my dog?
All right, I must admit that was a lot of fun. And I mean, we probably should have hired professional judges, but I want to say a special thank you very much to Janet and Leland for being fantastic sports. And thank you to Blaze and All Valley Barbecue, Spa, and Fireplace for inviting us out.
You know, it was a neat shop he had there. Everything you need for your backyard and barbecue. Check them out. By the way, I still don't think you know how to cook a steak.
Well, Leland gave me a whole bunch of great tips, but now you'll just never know.
Okay, folks, we are now switching gears. Will went to Vegas and spoke to Frankie Citro, a legendary mobster who is listed on Nevada's Black Book, which is officially known as the Excluded Persons List, an index of undesirable felons and parolees blackballed by the state casino regulators.
Absolutely. And for over 30 years, Citro hasn't been able to enter a casino. That means no shows, no fancy dinners,
Yeah.
no nights out with gambling with friends. He can't see concerts of his favorite retro groups. But fun aside, his predicament is highly stigmatized and comes with a series of dark struggles.
You know, the only off this list is death. So without further ado, let's hear from the man himself.
All right, I'm joined on this balcony here with Frankie, and you have a bit of a notorious reputation, especially here in Vegas. But I did want to ask about the softer side of who Frankie is. And you're part of a lot of charities, and you're a performer yourself. Is that right?
I just recently did one last week, and actually a lot of people don't know is that I do have a softer side. And I guess it's been coming out more in the last few years because I like to give back. I mean, I can't change some of the past. And it does make me feel good to try to do something for someone that can't do it for themselves, you know. I did find out something about myself a few years ago, which I didn't know. I'm very involved in music. I'm somewhat an authority on doo-wop music, street quarter harmony. And I used to have my own radio show for about 7-8 years here. And I would every week do a special where Frankie's picks for the week. And I didn't realize that the people would call me from all over the world. I found out I was a romanticist. In all my songs, I love those romantic old songs. And if it touches me in my heart, I know it'll touch somebody else, you know.
If you could give advice to your younger self, what would that be?
When you're young, you do things you don't realize is what the complications in life could be. And you want to change them. And, you know, I don't think I would change everything in my life, but there was definitely different paths I would have taken. And I definitely probably would have taken the path of a good guy, society would say, you know.
What does it feel when you're looking out here and see the Vegas Strip? What does that mean for you, and how do you feel about this city that feels like it's full of rejection for you?
Well, it's absolutely correct. Full of rejection is right. I'm limited to the YMC and Denny's, and I'm not allowed in casinos, as you know. In fact, I'm the only person in history that's not allowed in any casino in the world. And you know, years ago, I used to say this was the greatest town on the planet. It was a Disneyland for grown-ups, but it has gotten so vast over the years, and you won't find too many pieces of property that haven't been built on, you know. I mean, when I came here in the middle of 1962 for the first time, there was none of this. And a lot of people don't even know that the Strip, as people see in the movies and here, that's not the original Las Vegas. Fremont Street is the original Las Vegas, downtown. The Strip came many years later when they built the Flamingo with Bugsy Siegel, as has been illuminated in a lot of different movies. I can't go a lot of places. I had to raise a family here, and it's difficult telling your children why you can't do something sometimes until they're old enough to understand. A lot of people say to me, Frankie, why didn't you move? And because you really don't know me, I'm not a guy who will run away from any kind of obstacle. And I will not run away, and I will not hide. Most people tell you I'm a good guy. I just don't step on my toes and think you're going to get away with it, because I'm not going to let you. I do a lot of charity work. I like doing that because most of the time I do it for the kids, whatever the kids are involved, because they can't do it for themselves, you know. So.
And a lot of people who do know you have attested to your character that you are, in fact, a very nice guy and not as scary as you know, some people had wanted to depict you.
Well, a lot of people do that because it's good for their agenda. You know, they want to make you sinister. They want to make you, notorious. So, well, you know what? If you do something to me, you're going to find that character. But if you're a nice person, look, I have an old slogan. You treat me good, I'll treat you better. You treat me bad, I'll treat you worse.
What would you hope for the future of Vegas? Do you like the way it's going? Do you like the fact that it built this Sin City? Or would you rather see it be a different place?
This is going to sound a little cliche-ish, but, if you ask anyone that's a certain age or anybody who's lived here from a little while back, they'll all say the same thing. I wish the good old boys ran this town. And they have different names for those guys, But what they mean by that is all this nonsense that goes on in every city nowadays, especially Las Vegas. The city fathers, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're robbing all the money, you understand? You can't even get a comp in a casino anymore, you understand? It was up close and personal, I never had a beef in a casino, and they're not even mad at me. It's the government that is. So they made things bad for me. I never even had an argument in the casino. Politics has a lot to do with it. And there's an awful lot of corruption. And they locked me up. That's what kills me. These bastards locked me up.
So what's the next steps for you in the next few years?
My biggest goal, which is the hardest, Stephanie, is that, they've forgiven a lot of people in our world and in this town of some of the wrongdoings. I would just wish they would give me the opportunity to be one of the regular guys again, but the gaming board is very unforgiving, and I can understand they got to justify their paycheck, but I think they've been tremendously unfair to me, and you don't own that because you don't wear those shoes. It's very difficult. But I'm really not a guy that complains, and I'll just deal with it. I would just wish that they would give me this one more chance,
If they gave you just one day to roam Vegas like a normal person, what would that day look like?
I think, and this might sound a little corny, I'd like to take my whole family and walk hand in hand with them like any other family to any one of these casinos. That's what I would like to do.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Frankie.
Wow, you know what? You moved him to tears.
Well, he is a man on a mission, and I do hope that his dream can come true, even if it's just for a day.
Yeah, I hear you. I hope so. Great work. Well, you were out in Vegas. You also interviewed Steve McCoy, the world's greatest Tom Jones impersonator. Let's hear all about his evolution.
So I'm saying here with Steve, you're a famous impersonator for Tom Jones. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
So how, going back in time, how did that all begin? It takes a trifecta to be an impersonator. So where did it all start?
As a young guy, my mom and sister, they used to watch the Tom Jones show. This is Tom Jones would come on TV. And I watched, they would get excited and go crazy over this guy. And he's got curly hair, I got curly hair, and I thought that was it.
I read that you were about 16 years old when you entered a Tom Jones impersonation in a
Older than that. Good.
Yeah, what was that? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I had entered, it was 1989, and Tom Jones had just had a resurgence of the hit Kiss, Prince's hit.
You don't have to be beautiful to turn me on.
And he was on a local radio show. They were down in Atlantic City, and they were having a Tom Jones lookalike contest. And Tom Jones was the judge. So all my buddies and everybody always said to you, and I never sang in my life, I never sang, but I always liked music. And they said, come on, you got to go down, you'll win first prize. I said, I don't sing, I don't know if I can do this.
Tom Jones. It's Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Yeah, hello. I was born long ago. I'm the chosen, I'm the one. Just help yourself to my lips, to my arms. Just say the word and there you go. Just help yourself to.
When we got there, they were getting ready to film. They weren't going to let me in. They said, you can't come in. I says, come on, the way I'm dressed here, you got to let me in. So they let me in. And went in, I got to meet Tom Jones, and then there were 10 contestants. And they came up to me and they said, what song are you going to sing? And I said, sing? I said, I don't sing. I said, well, you got to sing a song. So I said, all right, I'll do It's Not Unusual. So it came time for me to do my bit, and I sang It's Not Unusual.
It's not unusual to find another love you.
After I won this contest, there was a gentleman that was in Atlantic City with his show called Legends in Concert. His name was Jon Stewart. And he happened to be up in his hotel room getting ready to go downstairs for his evening show with Legends in Concert. He was looking for a Tom Jones. And when they brought me on the news that night, local boy wins his Tom Jones contest, and Tom Jones picks him out. That was it. He got in touch with the radio station, got in touch with me, and asked me if I'd come to Las Vegas and audition for his show. I said, people get paid for this? And he said, yeah.
How can people find more information if they're interested in seeing one of your shows?
You can go to therealmccoyllc.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us here on California Limelight.
And thank you.
Top Trends! Welcome to Top Trends. Musical enthusiasts and Prince fans are gearing up for a rare find going to auction. The original demo tape that landed Prince's first record contract is hitting the market. This vintage gem was recorded back in 1976 on a 1/4 reel-to-reel tape. You probably don't even know what that is. There are 3 unreleased versions of Prince's own creations, Just As Long As We're Together, and the groovy disco pop jam, My Love Is Forever, from his album debut. But also, discovered was a never-before-heard track called Jelly Jam. truly mind-blowing is that Prince, at just 18 years old, did it all by himself. He wrote the songs, arranged the music, belted out those killer vocals, and played every single instrument for these tracks. Talk about a one-man show. This tape marks the very beginning of Prince's legendary journey in the world of popular music. So if you want a piece of history and a glimpse into the birth of a legend, this auction is your golden ticket. How about that?
That's pretty amazing. Prince is well loved. I actually saw a concert in Aqua Caliente of a Prince impersonator, but it was awesome.
Good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Good for you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you. So this is breaking news in the world of golf and a shock to many. The PGA Tour has agreed to merge with Live Golf, a Saudi-backed rival, in a deal that would resolve ongoing legal battles between the two and create a larger golf enterprise. For years, the concept of a potential rival with the PGA Tour remained in the background, often seen as a nearly impossible concept. However, Live Golf, established in 2021, was supported by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund and quickly demonstrated its genuine strength and competitiveness. It attracted talents from both the PGA and DP World Tours. The rise of Live Golf posed as an imbalance to the unity and harmony within professional golf. But now, even though Live Golf and PGA had a series of feuds and lawsuits over the last 2 years, the sudden and unexpected merger is gaining ground. So Tony, have you heard much of Live?
Personally, I'm not going to comment on some of the political things that are involved here because that's not what we do. But honestly, Liv was able to attract some golfers their way. They offered a ton of money to Tiger Woods, for example, to come join them, even though Tiger Woods is far beyond his years now, because of his injuries. He said, no, thank you. We're going to have to see how things develop. Things calm down. We'll see what happens.
These were some really interesting topics, and if you have a trending topic you would like to share, get in touch with us at CaliforniaLimelightBS@gmail.com. We'd also like to say a very special thank you to All Valley Barbecue and Fiesta Ford Quick Lane, who really helped make this show a reality. I'm excited to see what's in store for us in the future, but until then, I'm Will Steph Wilson.
And I'm Tony Pomponio. See you next time, folks.